Well, hello there. My name is Vinay, or as you guys know me from Instagram as Wink Photography. And today we're going to talk about why the hell have I started using this? Is it right? Straight? Cool. A small little beautiful thing to take these. This is a crop sensor camera. I also own a Canon 60, which is a full frame camera. Still I use this. Why? Well, there's only one way. Let's find out. Let's go. So first and foremost, this thing is this big, this thin, and this small. Very light. So the beauty about the X100F, the most important thing actually about the X100F is that it is portable. It is portable beyond belief, and let me tell you why. This is a fanny bag. Where's the fanny bag? You put the X100F in the fanny bag. You're done. That's it. That's how I carry my camera. This is how I carry my professional camera to my professional shoots. I'm just saying professional in a very, sort of a dramatic way, because it's professional. It's the one mirrorless camera that's actually pocketable. It's actually lightweight. It's something that you can move around with ease. Just get this out of the way. The beauty of this being so small and so portable is that it's easy to work with. The camera that you can carry around with you all day, every day, is the camera that you learn on, the camera that you get better with, understanding photography, your vision, whatnot. This is a camera that I can carry every day wherever I go. I always carry my phone wherever I go, but the phone camera is just boring to use. I've never really liked using phone camera. I don't like it. I don't like to touch the screen to take a photograph. I don't like to touch the side button to take a photograph. I need something that's a little more tactile to feel, that kind of makes you want to engage in the art of photography. Something like that helps me take better photos, helps me take more photos, and hence I can be better. And that's why I got the Fujifilm X100F in the first place. It's to be able to have a camera that I can carry around with me everywhere I go. It's not a full frame camera, it's a crop sensor camera. It's got an APS-C crop sensor. Does that matter? No, it does not really matter whether it's a full frame or a crop sensor camera. At the end of the day, it's taking photos for Instagram. No one cares. Instagram's going to throw a compression on it anyways. It's just going to be a sad mess of pixels here and there, compressed, blah. But nevertheless, the image quality that comes out of the X100F is exceptional beyond belief. Of course, when I got the camera, I compared it to my full frame, and I'm like, hey, you know what? This is the same. So why do I have to carry that? I'll just carry this. These are the photos taken with my Canon 60. These are the photos taken with the Fuji X100F. If you can spot a difference, please tell me what it is. I have no idea. I think anyways in this millennia, the debate about which camera to buy is always going to be, hey, buy full frame. That's it. What about the crop sensor cameras? They're good, they're great. I don't know. If you want any more warrant that the image quality is the same, please just go through my profile, go through anyone's profile who uses the X100F, and try and find a reason why the photos may have been better had it been a full frame. It doesn't matter. Small difference that the full frame camera might give to you, this comes with you everywhere. This takes more photos with you everywhere, and that's already a win, regardless of whether the image quality is the same or if it's less. Now, another beauty about the X100F is that it feels like a wholesome camera. By that I mean, this is a camera that's really engaging and fun to shoot with. It's got this very retrograde feel. That already makes it feel like, hey, you know what? This is nice. I've always liked point and shoot cameras. Point and shoot cameras is something everyone has grown up with because there was always one in the family. This is probably the kind of camera you've held as a kid. Some nostalgic value to it. the way that you shoot with this. The fact that the buttons are, can you hear that? Oh, that's ASMR right there. Ooh. Oh yeah, let me just change the aperture also. Oh yeah, the tactile feel of these buttons really makes you feel like you are engaging with what you're shooting. And that engagement is very hard to prove on paper. It's better felt. Next thing is the viewfinder right there. Is it a real viewfinder? Is it an optical viewfinder? Is it an electronic viewfinder? It is both. It's actually an optical and an electronic viewfinder, and that's really cool. Let me show you what that does or what that means. So if you see, oh, there you go. Now it's an electronic viewfinder. Now it's optical. Electronic, optical. Yeah, you get that. It's not really an exactly optical viewfinder that everyone's used to with the DSLR, because that viewfinder lets you see through the lens. This lets you see from the side of the camera. This exactly lets you see through here. And a beauty about photography is that if you get to see things differently, you get to shoot them differently, the idea of the experience of shooting them becomes very different, and the way that you shoot things changes. And that is actually very exciting. The few times that I've used it, it's really interesting. I am not an advocate for electronic viewfinders. I don't like them. It's great you get to see the exact image that you're taking. I don't care. I've used the DSLR and I want to see the subject the way that it is. I want to see the subject, how it's looking with the light that it is, how the subject's playing around, because I usually shoot on a very organic flow of things. So that's very important to me. I think the way that I've taken images with this is something that it's the way that I could not have taken with a DSLR. Why? Because a DSLR is big and it's intimidating. This is not. This is as small as a camera gets. This is as easygoing as a camera gets. Now imagine shooting someone with this. It just looks like, it's like, oh my god, there's something really professional going on, something really serious. There's hesitation, there's nervousness, there's confusion of some sort, especially when you're shooting with someone new who hasn't really been shot before, and you want to experience and experiment how you can build someone's characteristic through portraits. It's not very engaging. The reason why the X100F works really well for shooting portraits is like taking pictures on a phone. So everyone takes pictures on a phone. So if you shoot such a small thing with anyone, they will feel like you're taking photos from a phone. The idea and psychological benefit of how easily and freely they engage with the camera changes. It changes really, really heavily. I've seen that in person. It just makes the subject feel more free, and that's also very important. It's so hot. I need to get aircon for this room because while recording these videos, the fan is off. So, the great things about Fujifilm is that they've made great film cameras and they've made great film for film cameras. This, or actually a lot of other Fujifilm cameras, they all have film simulations. And I kid you not, the JPEG that comes out of this is something you can send directly to the client and it's gonna work. It's gonna work like a charm because the JPEGs with the film simulations that you select, like Classic Chrome or Pro Neg High or whatever you want to use, Acros is beautiful black and white. They work really well. Some of the sets that I've uploaded when I first got this camera were in JPEG because, hey, you know what? They were good. They were really good. These are the JPEGs that I shot during the shoot, and this is what I edited them into. The raw image. But as you can see, the JPEGs are already very good. You can choose to edit them or you can't. It's all right. It's just a very good image to send to your client to keep them happy. Like they'll be like, hey, dude, the photos look great. Thanks a lot for them. If you send raw images to a client, raw images never look the same. They look a bit raw. You know what I mean? Because they're raw. Another beautiful thing about the Fujifilm X100F is that you can't change the lens. You don't have to change the lens because it has a 23mm f2 lens on this, and that's what you're stuck with for the rest of your life until you own this camera, basically. Why is that a good thing? In photography, we usually often speak about prime lenses as the lenses that help you learn. 23mm on a crop sensor body basically is a 35mm, and 35mm is exactly the focal length that I shoot with. So for me, it's perfect. I don't really have to worry about which lens am I going to use for the shoot today, because I have only one lens to use. Having one lens really helps you get better at that focal length instead of trying to play around with 85mm, 50mm. Let's go wide, let's go ultra wide, let's go 16mm. But what I'm saying is that it's really good to have just one lens that you shoot with on a regular daily basis and try and improve and get better using that one lens. So yeah. Now let's be honest, never buy a camera for how it looks. It's a tool, it's gonna be always behind the camera. The camera is always going to be behind the camera. It's not going to be seen in the photograph. But hey, you know what? Silly point, but this camera looks great. Like this camera, gunmetal black, it just feels really nice to look at. You know, it's when you own this, it's like, oh, so nice. It's actually a gorgeous camera. It's beautiful. It's you can use this for your Instagrammable posts, flat lays, and get the extra brownie points because it looks great in photographs. Not an important point, that's why it's all the way in the end. The last and foremost point I'd like to make is in some DSLRs, especially full frame cameras that you buy, you're not going to get a flash. Now I'm not saying this flash is any good. It's a very teeny tiny flash on this. But hey, you have a flash, and you know all those really artsy vintage music album sort of photos with this really harsh flash and subject. You can get those photos with this, and it's really easy breezy. You can, I mean, it's a small camera that gives you a flash also, so it works if you want it to work the way that you want it to work. Yeah. As you can see, I'm drenched in sweat right now because there's no fan. So we're gonna proceed, tread very lightly, but we're gonna end this video very soon. Thanks for staying so long. So you know what? Camera can't all be good. There are gonna be some bad things about it. So let's talk about the negatives of the Fuji X100F. The battery is okay. It's not that great, but you know what? Whenever I charge it once, I can get about 2,000 photographs before I have to charge it again. 2,000 photographs is great. It's almost a days of work. So you know, if your work is going to be about 4 or 5 hours with a lot of shutter clicks, this is a camera that will work for you. The battery will work for you. It's just that this is not a camera you want to use for that. I'm stupid. I use this camera to take 2,000 photographs every shoot that I do. That's not how you use this. This is almost about to die because I have almost reached the end of my shutter actuations for this camera, and I hope it lives a few more days, a few more months and years to come. Fujifilm, if you're hearing this, please give me camera. I need camera. My camera might die. I love you. Talking about the battery is done. The buffer is also not that good. So when I shoot on this camera, I shoot RAW plus JPEG. So I can always have the JPEG, and I can also do whatever I want with the RAWs. Now when shooting RAW and JPEG, there's a lot of it. There's a lot of space that the camera is going to take because your JPEGs are about 11 MB and your RAWs are about 50 MB. I don't even know why, but they are. So your RAWs are about 50 MB, and then you're shooting about 65 MB with every clip that you do on a pretty fast card that I have on this camera. I can take about 10 photos, 12 photos before I anyways go click. At the 12th photo, it's gonna be like, bro, give me like 5 minutes, bro. Okay, now it's only 5 minutes, but then it stops. So the buffer's not that great, but it's not much of an issue. You're not gonna buy this camera to shoot the way that I use it to shoot. I have abused this camera way beyond its use purpose. This is supposed to be a street camera. It's supposed to be something you take on the street and shoot. I have not used it for that even once, but hey, although the lens is this 23mm lens, it's not the best lens. So when I say best lens, it's great when you're shooting like normal mid-size portraits. As soon as you come a little close, the image is very soft, and that's because of the lens the way that it is. They've actually fixed this issue on the new version of this camera, which is the X100V, which is the 5th. This is the 4th, which is why it is F. People anyways add like 3 layers of Vaseline on like a plastic sheet of film, or they like just fog the lens with their breath just to get some hazy effect. This gives it to you out of the box. It's a win-win. Also, one more annoying thing about this camera is that the card slot is down. You put the card with the battery. You don't really put it on the side in like professional cameras. Why that's annoying? It's because this screw the tripod screw on this camera is actually too close to the compartment. Regardless of whatever base plate you're using, you're gonna have to take the camera out, take the base plate out, and then change even a memory card if you have to. Because more often than not, you're probably gonna have to fill up the memory card before you will drain the battery. So it's not very cool, but I don't use this on a tripod at all. I use it handheld, so it's okay. The DSLR is great because, you know, the grip on the DSLR it feels really good. It feels like something you can hold. This is the DSLR grip, and I'm missing like half a chunk of grip in that. This doesn't have a very good grip. This grip is, it's fashionista. So it's got some attitude problem, but it's okay. It's all right. It's something that you really take care while you're holding the camera. You hold it with a very strong grip, but the grip is better on some of the other Fujifilm cameras like the X-T4, X-T3. I think that would have killed the look of the camera, would have made it a little bulkier. It wouldn't have made it fit into a jacket pocket or a pant pocket very easily. So that's a decision Fujifilm took, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. It's cool. As long as it's a small camera, it works and fits in my hand, it works. So Fujifilm hasn't paid me to say any of this. It would have been nice had they paid me to say any of this, because I would have said the same things. It's all good things though. So I mean, Fujifilm, again, if you're listening to this, please. I would love to be an ambassador. Okay, moving on. So that's about it. That should probably end a lifelong series of burning questions that you guys have had about why do I use the X100F and why I will continue using it, because it's a great camera. It's a camera that you can take everywhere. It takes great photos that compare to full frame. It looks crazy, it looks classy, and it gives you a sense of experience that no other camera is going to ever be able to give you. It makes you engage with the photograph that you're taking, and that is an experience on its own, because what you get out of shooting with this camera is a wholesome feel to the kind of photos that you're taking, and you can see that in the photograph. So yeah, that's about it for me. As you can see, the setup has changed a bit because every video that I've made so far has been made in a different corner of the house. Still trying new things, still trying to experiment with the background and everything, and the lighting and the kind of content. So I expect to see a few more YouTube videos in the next few days if I'm if I'm truthful enough to my word, because the last time I said new videos coming out was 7 months ago. So yeah, that does it for this video. You can check out the work that I have taken with this camera, because I've shot everything on my Instagram with this camera only in the lockdown, which has been for about 8-10 months. Yeah, you can check it on my Instagram right here. You can follow me on Instagram. It goes by the same name as wink.photography. And yeah, that's about it. That calls for the end of this video, and I'm gonna catch you in the next one, which is going to be about, I have no idea. See ya!